Alrighty. Hello, sexy souls. Okay. So, um, I feel like the thing is just way over. Hold on a second, guys. I'm feeling like we need to put it. There we go. It's already been a day. What is going on back here? I don't know. Okay. When I tell you I try to get on at a certain time and then things just happen. So nice. So nice. All right. So I did do a video earlier in the week and I tried to upload it, okay? And it went and it said it was uploaded, it was processing, and it got to 99%. And I believe it's a YouTube issue. So I'm gonna try to contact YouTube and be like, what's the deal? Why is it acting like this? Because this has been a problem way, way, way too much for me. So something's happening. And I don't have any kind of like flags or anything on my account. So I don't really know what's going on. But uploading is an issue. So I'm gonna try it again. And if this thing does not work, oh man, are we serious? Let me see if it's even showing before we get started. And just a message to Anna. I will send those videos. I just saw your message. I will send those videos as soon as I get done. What the fuck? Just stay. Just stay. Why do I feel like I'm not even centered in the anyways? Let's continue. Okay. Alrighty. So just to let you know, this is a coffee and tarot. This is where spirit comes and delivers the message that they see fit. Not something where I am able to. We don't come into this with preconceived notions. No time frames, no parameters, no nothing. And please be careful because I'm about to ring a bell. Ring my bell. And when I tell you, I have two videos, but the one, hello, cannot hear my voice. Well, that fucking figures. Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now? It's showing like you can hear it. All right, let me restart, guys. Okay. What the fuck? Sorry. I ring my bell usually before I start. It's a handmade bell. Handmade. Okay. Let's just see here. We're gonna restart. So I did try to upload a video. It went probably about 8 hours. It was uploaded, but it was still processing. It never posted. Been having this problem. Sometimes the really, really good reads, I've been having issues. And it's a tech issue, but it's not on my end. So I'm gonna try and get a hold of YouTube, and be like, "What gives?" Sometimes I think that if there's been contemplation that people who have spoken out on certain things are being messed with. Um, I'm inclined to believe it because even somebody brought it up to me and they were like, and so because we're all monopolized by one entity, apparently, in this godforsaken world. So this is a general read. These are not personal. What the heck? You can book a personal if you want to, but this is just a general read. So just so that's clear. Let me go ahead and get my spiel. You are a sovereign being over your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation to you is to never Cinderella anything to make you fit. Okay. Again, this is a coffee and tower, which means we are coming to the table and spirit gets to decide what the message is. Um, So, meaning that we don't come into it with any kind of preconceived notions, questions, time frames, or any type of parameters. We're not placing any parameters on spirit. Spirit gets to completely direct the message as they see fit. All right. So it's not like a weekly, it's not a weekend, it's not a, you know, a love or it's whatever spirit wants to talk about. Okay. All right. So since that is established, they want to start with um, Archangel Tarot. 10 of Cups, and the 6 of Wands on the split. There's one that was okay. All right, so there's going to be some change. And Spirit really wants you to embrace that change that's about to happen. Heard coming down the pike. Stuck in my hand. Ace of Swords, overall energy. Inspiration, new ideas, new path, truth of a situation, new beginning. Okay. Okay, here's the funny thing. 10 of Swords came out first. The 10 leads to the Ace. So they're kind of letting you know there's a new path that starts. A new path. You might also get some hard-hitting truth. Uh it feels like truth is kind of like in your face. It doesn't feel negative though. It's like, oh, okay. Like undeniable truth. You know how sometimes we feel like we come to some kind of conclusion, we believe we know what the truth about something, and things kind of like the evidence around you lends to it. This is like undeniable, irrefutable proof. Oh, I was going to say truth, proof. So you get proof of something that brings absolute clarity. It's like you can't deny that you know the truth of something now, but it's also the beginning of a new path. Okay. So something's wrapping up because this is kind of like worst case scenario is over with. And so the only direction is up. But this does talk about a difficult situation ending and that a change is happening. You're getting proof of something, which is basically the truth. And then we're not ending. I just heard a knock. Something fell in my bathroom. 9 of Cups, guys. Your wish comes true. It literally says it on the card. Concerns fade away and a love of life happens. I can feel like, yo, like, how is this wrap up going to happen? Because it's like a transition. It feels like people are more concerned with the transition of something. You know, like, what does that require? What does it require to wrap something up and move into the positive? What is this proof? Like the transition is the question. You're like, "Oh, I know on the other side of it, I'm going to be really happy. But like, what's happening to get me to the Ace of Swords? Okay, dokie. Okay, dokie. Seven of Cups. Ah, there's the crux of it. A complex decision needs to be made. There's a decision. But the Seven of Cups is also kind of the card of like, stop trying to figure it out. Like people are trying to figure out what's all in these cups, what's going on, what's the best option. I don't know. That's where the confusion comes into play, right? But this card really talks about you need to quit procrastinating and make a decision. Yes, on the outside, it may seem like a complex decision, but that's only because you're hemming and hawing about it, pros and conning it, and what ifing it, and all the different scenarios, and da, da, da. It's like it's not that difficult of a situation of a decision actually. Okay, what do they got to do to make the decision? Like that's the question. And this goes into the reading I was trying to upload because that one was about a decision also. And it was called Today and Tonight because cards were talking about how there was going to be some kind of decision that needed to be made within a 24-hour period. Because the two, I pulled cards from here. I'm still going to upload it. I'm gonna delete the one that's still processing and I'm going to try to re upload it. Um, it was talking about like there was something about today and tonight, like something happening today and tonight. That was the cards. Let me find it. Is it on here? Yes. Um, that was the next one. It was Divine Guardian, and it said, "Do not be nervous today or tonight. Do not be nervous." So there's a change happening. Okay. So we definitely had to get this fucking message out. So we're revisiting something that I recorded and couldn't get uploaded because YouTube's um the path you are on will lead you just right. There's something about today and tonight. I'm putting these out here. And then morning memory, there was something like, and it's funny, they talk about today and tonight, and then by the morning, all's good. Like there's a shift overnight. Because the morning memory is its healing gift runs a destined course. And so the morning dawn, our inspired source. So it's almost as if when once a decision is made about something, you feel free and inspired. Like there's a major energetic wheel of fortune type of shift. And so it's a 24-hour turnaround. Maybe that's why they didn't want it uploaded before because it was like today was it. I'll try. We'll see. If it uploads today, then I guess I recorded it, but they really wanted it done, It was about today. Whatever. Um Chariot. Mhm. My chariot card is the Rhino spirit where not once things are aligned, nothing can stop it. Like the rhinoceros does not move out of the way for you. The rhinoceros will move you the fuck out the way. It's going to charge and it's going to keep charging. And you want to stand there, fine, but you will be removed. Like the rhinoceros removes whatever obstacles it faces in its path. Any oppositions. Like there's no opposition that is like a worthy opponent. Like you will get trampled. That's the energy of this. It's going to happen one way or the other. Once this decision is made, there's no fucking stopping it. And I just feel like they're going to have a conversation with you today about the quote unquote complex decision. And I think that what's been happening is up to this point, you've been hemming and hawing, pros and conning, thinking about something. And that was the idea of the last reading was, hey, a decision is going to pop up out of fucking nowhere because when you get a lot of time to really think about something, you can talk yourself the fuck out of it. Like it's not even funny and convince yourself it's not even important and you stop it before it ever fucking arrives. This is something that has to arrive. It's the spirit is like, look, you can choose to go the opposite direction. You do not have to choose whatever we put in front of you, but you will be faced with it, and then you will make your decision. You're not going to make your decisions on filling in the blanks and all the stories that you tell yourself and all the different things that you can conjure up and think about prior to it arriving. You will be faced with it, and then you will make your decision, because there's something about your intuition within the moment that gives you maybe pieces of something that you didn't have prior to that. Because everything leading up to that point was logic and what ifs and possibilities and pros and cons, and it was just it wasn't necessarily reality. And so they're like, you have to let this show up in front of you, and then you can make your decision. Because they're like, there's just this, you would not make the same decision if they gave you all the information prior and said, "Hey, this is coming down the pike. Do you want this?" You would not make the decision based upon all the facts, the appropriate information. It would be based out of comfort and fears and security. And so you would kind of like you'd talk yourself out of it so much you'd be like, "Don't even bring it." And they're like, "That's not happening this time." Again, there's free will in what you choose to do when it shows up, but and I think that's why they're talking about the don't procrastinate. This isn't even probably telling you what's gonna happen or which this is what had this shown up before, had they given you a, like, "Hey, within the next 2 months, this is gonna happen. We're bringing this into your life. This is what da, da, da," and you're kind of like, and I'm not saying you don't have any inkling or clue about this, but there has definitely been information that has been withheld intuitively, spiritually, otherwise, so that you could not it's like they intentionally did it so you could not make your decision before it arrived. You could go around in circles. You could be like, "I don't understand what's happening, da, 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 da," and it's like, it'll all make sense once it arrives. There's something happening. It's presenting itself in your life, and you have to make a decision. The thing is, you would make it a complex decision. That's the problem. But something about you in the moment when you don't have that time to, all that to do all that bullshit, your intuition takes over and you go on instinct and intuition. And that's the right decision. I'm gonna lose my shit. Pardon my French. Not really, because I don't care. Four of swords. There's definitely, and that's the sense of um feeling free the next morning, is because this liberates you to some degree. It liberates you from, I want to say, stagnation. There had to be a lack of, because you're coming from the 10 of swords. There's nowhere to go but up. You feel alive. You feel inspired. A healing gift runs a destined course. Your mind gets a fucking break. It's funny when your intuition makes the decision and you wake up inspired and happy and full of potential and faith. Like your light is lit again. That totally makes sense. Um, your brain has nothing to sit there and contemplate. It feels free. But back to back, we have a four of swords and a six of swords, which four of swords can talk about vacation also. Six of swords can talk about moving, vacation, things like that. So there's some type of movement happening. It feels more because these are back to back. This feels like, why are they giving me dumb words? Landlocked. It's almost like you've been landlocked, but I don't think you're going out to sea. It's almost like you've been locked in a location. Time to take a vacation, taking a trip. Both these cards say it. I feel like you're going to be getting out of your location. You're going somewhere. You're getting out of whatever bubble you exist in. I can't tell yet right now if that's going to be something permanent or if it's just, and then a significant life event. Okay. Okay. Shit fire, save the matches. Sometimes I just need to fucking pay attention. We have the chariot, four swords, six of swords. This is almost as if it's like going somewhere different that then leads to some major shift or change. These two would be the moving cards. These two together are taking a trip. There's some kind of like getting out of your current habitat. I don't know why they're giving me that word. Going somewhere which may lead to some type of permanent change because we have a significant life event. Is this decision related to, is this the decision that you're gonna have to make? What? Well, no wonder. And it leads to change. And then, of course, this is the Temperance card, so it says spread your wings and fly. Spread your wings. And I want a different deck. I want to know about this. Can this do good? They're giving me Night Sun Tarot. Hierophant. Woo! Emperor. Three of Swords. Yeah, this is leading back to the reading that I did where I said somebody like bridging the gap. That's the one I can't. Okay. Somebody's going to be doing some type of travel that leads to some type of permanent change in their life, and this is a very significant event. It's presented almost at the last minute so that you just kind of like instinctually decide rather than talk yourself out of something, which could be the trip. It could be like, hey, you want to go blah blah blah, and it's like, yes. Just because you're like in the moment, like it's a quick turnaround. There's a quick turnaround with this. There's a quick turnaround. You wake up the next morning really happy about your decision. Unbeknownst to you, this is going to be something life changing supposed to happen. Hierophant and the Emperor. In the Bridging the Gap one, we had these two come out. This is the Three of Swords. These two coming together. Something has kept them separate. Something that's the piece of information that's not known. All right, so I want to know what's happening today or tonight. Yeah, an invitation to to go on an adventure. We have the Knight of Cups with the Page of Wands to do something fun. This is like, hey, want to get together? Want to do this? Want to da da da? Okay. All right. And they're going to say, yes, I assume. And it starts a whole new path. Okay. Okay. Where's this? That's it. Where's the invitation coming from? I just heard hold steady. I think they're talking to there's a Queen of Wands here with the High Priestess. Neither of these energies will be doing it. These are one and the same. Queen of Wands will be receiving the invitation. Emperor is giving it. The Emperor and the Hierophant. We do have. So this is like okay. The reason why the High Priestess came out with the Queen of Wands is because this is the desired individual. The individual reaching out to the Queen of Wands is an Emperor, but they're equally yoked spiritually speaking. So this is like a spiritual connection, Hierophant to the High Priestess. Okay. We also have Strength card, which is Leo energy. Again, could be a nod to what should have happened in Leo season or by Leo season before. But there's this just hold your horses. Just wait a minute. She's been waiting. Sense of resilience here in the waiting. Waiting, I use loosely in the sense that she's just not making any moves. But it's almost like the Queen of Wands is aware because the High Priestess's book is open. I feel like with the Strength card, there's a bit of the Queen of Wands having to. Okay, so whatever comes in, this invitation, this invite, this hey, this introduction, this initiation, whatever that is, that sheds light to the Queen of Wands. That's why the book is open. That's the truth. So whoever the Queen of Wands is, I'm acting like I'm reading. Whoever I'm reading for is the Queen of Wands, High Priestess energy. It all gets revealed. Something all gets revealed to you, and it's surrounding a new beginning. She's got an egg in the palm of her hand. Oh, thank you. You notice how I have to like do the anymore. I noticed myself a couple times doing that where I have to like really like I'm getting old. This is so very it's like it's coming from source. For some of you who work with Nyx, because she wanted to be like, I equate Nyx's energy to what most people would consider source. You know, everything born out of the void, out of the darkness. She is beyond goddess or god energy. She is eternal. She is, anyways. So Nyx might mean something to you. So basically, today or tonight, something's going to come through. There's got to be communication. I don't have a communication card, but you can't sit there and provide an invite or an invitation. Like everything, like okay. So I don't know why I'm going back to Nyx. Nyx is I liken her to the Black Madonna a little bit in the sense that the epitome of the femininity of the feminine, just period, and holds all knowledge from the feminine, from all timelines, realities, existence is held within her because she is the feminine. And so anything feminine spawns from her, or anything really spawns from her, that wanted to be clarified. She is the birth. So if you were to think of like all the stories of how existence came into being, it came from the void. It came from her. So um, that needed to be said. I guess I didn't do it justice, and it needed to be clarified. Um, so just remember, within that, all knowledge is held. But there's Knight of Cups is, it's a really it has a sense of like chemistry, flirtatiousness, because the Page of Wands really adds a little spice to it. Um, it might be a very bold proposition or a bold invitation that happens. Again, it has the energy of a trip that ends up being, or like, it doesn't feel like a date. I gotta be honest with you. It's not like a evening out. This is like an excursion. Thank you, Spirit, or like a little adventure or something to that effect that ends up in some major, major life event that sets you on a particular trajectory that cannot be stopped. That may lead to larger moves. Okay. Um, this invitation of whatever sorts gives you the truth of a situation. It gives you the proof that you've lacked up to now. So you've kind of had to have faith in what the truth was, but this gives you like irrefutable proof of something. And it's like, I know the truth of something. It is a wish fulfillment. You will make a very guttural, primal, instinctual, intuitive decision. Um, Again, you don't really, you have some kind of an inkling, but you don't really. And so the reason why Spirit did you have no inkling is because you would have talked yourself out of it. And so this is going to be sprung on you, so to speak. This is not something that has been offered before. And again, it is coming from somebody that has a spiritual connection with you. Um, but the lack of truth is, there's something about the lack of truth of that y'all don't have, that how do I put that? It just came between the two of you. Like, I'm feeling like somebody inviting you to do something tells you something in and of itself, but there might be something even further that you discover as a result of that. Okay. But you feel excited, you feel good, you feel inspired, you feel another Ace of Swords. Moon. Yeah. True feelings. You kind of do. The invitation in and of itself is going to go, this is probably somebody where it's like their true intentions, their true feelings about something. I think how deep something goes. I feel like you're about to go swimming. There's definitely a truth being revealed here. Moongar. What's the I don't know if we're allowed to know the truth ahead of time. Look, if these two motherfuckers do not come together already, because I'm just about to reach through whatever etheric freaking vortex there is and yank a knot in some people's ass, because what in the actual hell? Why is it taking so long? Is my question. I hope y'all can hear me. We've got the 3 of Cups, 7 of Swords. This is giving me like this is like looking from the outside in. It's giving like the context is like environmentally, socially. That's what the 3 of Cups is kind of giving me, like what you can observe through social interactions, through social media, through whatever. And it's kind of like is a bit of an illusion because 7 of Swords is the idea that you doing what is necessary. It can be things happening behind the scenes. It can be a bit of a sneaky, but there's a sense of not knowing everything. It's also the idea that, okay, it's about positioning oneself in a positive aspect to continue the 6 of Swords. So the 6 of Swords is the idea that I finally moved into good territory. I finally moved into a better situation. And it's the positive mental preparation that goes along with it in order to be able to maintain that, to protect that. We also have these 7 swords. He's holding the egg. So there's this 3 of Cups energy of watching, witnessing, like surface level environmentally in order to see how somebody moves. Um, it's a bit of a protective stance. It's definitely giving. I'm watching your social media. I'm asking people about you. I'm trying to get whatever information I can on you because I'm in a good place. Again, 10 of Swords, the end of a difficult situation. So they're finally in a good place and they don't want to fuck that up. So there's an observance happening. There's keeping things on a shallow level, on a very friendly surface. Thank you. Why did it take so long? Like a surface level, out of protection to kind of like the 7 of Swords is like the recognizance sword, the card also, like gathering. There we go. hmm when he goes into the enemy's camp and he kind of like scouts everything out and then takes it's the idea of like, am I in enemy territory, am I safe, what do I need to know about them? And so it's gathering something because it's at nighttime. If you know the story of the 7 of Swords, a soldier goes into an army encampment and scopes things out and is sometimes seen leaving with um certain weapons. Now, are they depleting the army's camp? No, but it's almost like taking what they can to protect themselves, so that they too can maintain a status quo. They're a singular individual. They have. Is this army here to do something to me? Do they know something that I don't know that I need to be prepared for? It's kind of like leveling the playing field, right? And so there's this idea of getting further information, observing, and leaving something at a surface level for a period of time, which makes sense, right? Because here we have the 5 of Cups, and I love it when a 5 of Cups depicts that somebody has figured some shit out, turned around, and saw the 2 cups. But in this particular situation, this person isn't just like turning around and seeing the 2 cups there. They did something to properly address the 3 of Cups that had been spilled. In this particular one, it's like they picked up each one and put it back on the shelf. They dealt with whatever it was. So that, because some people will they mull something over and they're stuck in the look at all these negative things that are happening. Look at everything that's going on. Look at it, blah 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 blah. And they just obsess over it and they stay there and then they pivot and immediately jump into a relationship. That's what the 2 of Cups would be, right? And so, but there's some kind of work that was done to come to terms with whatever was happening in their present life. And so it's almost as if it's like they really dealt with things. Again, could be a part of their attempt to protect any kind of new beginning that they would move towards. It is giving I withheld or I held back intentionally to deal with some things and kept things surface level for a period of time intentionally, even if it was just through social media. Because that would be the Three of Cups. That is the we this is the card where we interact and connect with people, but on a very social level. It talks about your community, your social network, things like that. And so I left it at that, is what I just heard. Mm, lovers. Hmm. So, lovers is about a decision, a choice. It's here with the Five of Swords. Whatever they did to put these 3 cups up really had to address their 5 of swords, their mental, where they were mentally. I feel like there was like a war going on. They were conflicted. Again, somebody withheld. So this is the withholding because I just don't know. And get the sense with an emperor, you don't fucking do shit unless you know. He didn't become an emperor for no reason. You don't do shit like he's gonna do shit the right way. And so that may have been there may have been some things that he had to work through. That's that sword. The truth that the Queen of Wands doesn't know about. The stuff that someone had to go through because the sword is what's driving a wedge between them. But here's if you have no idea about this, it's a truth. There's a truth within the what they've had to deal with and go through and address. I think that they're going to tell you there's definitely wanting to connect. And again, if this is over social media, y'all, it makes sense. There might have to be travel. I'd like to meet up. I'd like to blah blah blah. It's a very bold. I said that in the beginning. Very bold invitation. But with that invitation, you're gonna get a whole lot. A lot's gonna be revealed. A lot of truth. A lot of understanding. And so on the emperor side, that's the reason why it was a complex there was the idea of a complex decision is because they were withholding for a period of time. They were confused. They wanted to make sure. They wanted to be certain. Yes, and the card says the need to do research. So this motherfucker did observe and take in information and all that kind of stuff. This person's been sitting on it for a while. They've been sitting on it. It's almost as if the emperor knows when this is gonna happen. It's the Queen of Wands that doesn't. She's the one out of the loop. But it behooves her because if she had all the detail if she had all the detail here's the thing. I I don't feel any history, like, between these 2. Maybe past life, because there is a spiritual connection, the Hierophant with the High Priestess, but, there's a spiritual connection, but she's been waiting. Remember I said Queen of Wands has been waiting for something, and it took resilience to do that, the Strength card. I don't know if she knows what she was waiting for, and that might be why Spirit didn't tell her all the details, because if she knew the details of why, because if there was a heartache or other things, they won't tell me exactly, but, here goes my brain filling the fucking blanks because 'cause I'm like, "Why won't you tell me ahead of time?" Because if you knew all the details, you wouldn't have waited. I would be I would be so pissed. But can I just say, in the moment when all of this is revealed to you, you make choices not based upon how your mind could pick something apart, but what your intuitive high priestess energy is telling you. So there are things that if you knew now would irritate the shit out of you and you'd be like, fuck that shit, cut it off. I don't want it. Don't even bring it my way. That you would have been like, you don't leave a Queen of Wands waiting. I don't, yeah. You may not have been okay with. Like if spirit had told you ahead of time, you wouldn't have been patient, resilient, and waiting for this new beginning. You'd be like, I'm gonna go my own way then. And they're like, no, 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 no. Because there's also a truth that you discover when you are face to face with somebody that you can't ascertain through all the thoughts and all the scenarios and all the stories you tell yourself, the what ifs. It's like there's a distinct difference between the thoughts you have and the stories you tell yourself and the fucking reality and the spiritual. And that's the thing. You can't. It's like when coming together, this cannot be denied. When these two are in the presence of one another, it cannot be denied. The spiritual connection. But it's easy because it's conceptual. Like we can have a spiritual connection. We feel really strongly for somebody that we don't really have. But when there's a separation or a distance, it's easier to detach or, you know, to let our mind make the decisions for us. But this is a they won't let that happen. There's a decision. And it could be as simple as once I hear your voice. King of Cups. I don't know why I'm getting like when you feel the depths of this person, the Emperor, it will overwhelm you. Their energy signature will like cloak you, not cloak, like envelop you. There we go. Like you're being swallowed up by water. Like you're sinking in. And it's like, don't be upset when they tell you the details of this, because I'm kind of giving you a little bit, but I can tell they're keeping something else. And they're like, don't be upset when you like, there's something about this individual is exceptionally selective. And that might be what somebody needs because you probably, when people lack discernment, they're choosing whatever suits them in the moment. And the Queen of Wands may have been treated as such like that. You know what I mean? But this is consuming their energy, their emotion, their intuition. Like I just get this consuming, enveloping. It's like undeniable. For some, it is going to be the voice. Today or tonight. Death and rebirth. Which we had the 10 of swords and the ace of swords come out back to back. The ending brings a new beginning. And that's union. She's pregnant. Okay. One last with this. Give us some of the details that we can about how this is unfolding. This is like all happening within a 24-hour period of time, not the trip itself. It leads to that though. the decision leads to a coming together. And that coming together is the significant life event. Is definitely giving some type of a distance. Page of Pentacles. She too is pregnant in this one. It's the seed. This decision is the seed. This coming together is a seed. Shit you not. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Page of Swords. This invitation is the seed. It is genuine, sincere, and it is the pull that you need. You're going to say yes to whatever this is. You can see he's pulsating out this frequency that calls to. And that's the idea. The Queen of Wands, she's got like a beacon, like a signal. The I don't chase, I attract. It pulls things in. This moment where someone breaks the ice in communication, that's the seed that has to be planted. Yeah, it starts with someone's voice. Now, there may be written correspondence. There's something you feel very safe with this invitation. They're really they're not wanting to talk about the past. Because they're not giving me sufficient enough about whatever it is that this person had to deal with. There's details that they're like, you're not going to get until you talk to the person. But I'm also trying to I'm like, do you know this person? And I'm getting a you don't. So then I'm over here like, who the fuck is going to be like, yes, when you don't know somebody? This could go to that one reading I did on Sunday where it was like things move so rapidly, like one conversation, and it's almost as if there's a million conversations after. And I think it does. I think that it does. So the idea is for whenever somebody watches this, it happens today or tonight. I just felt my heart go bloop, like out my fucking body, down my vagina, and down to the floor. It said bloop. Lord have mercy. Okay. But the level of excitement, the energy shift and change off of just saying yes. They really are making me redo that reading that I did that was so good that I tried to upload. Something was definitely trying to stop it. When I fucking tell you, because and that's funny because my tech issues started in June, and I kept telling people some shit was going to happen by Leo season, which Leo season ends in August, the end of summer. And I was like, it's closing in. You see how I have 30 fucking videos that I have yet to upload to YouTube. That's how much I was doing over the summer and didn't upload. I would try to record it. Because YouTube likes recorded videos over something really, but yet I felt so resistant to actually doing it. Something has really not wanted this to transpire. Because I even said, 2 readings ago, that something about Sagittarius season is reminiscent of, because there's a sign, fire signs of Leo season, what should have transpired and been and culminated in Leo season, or had been completed or done by Leo season. It's happening now. And it's almost as if the only way for me to get these messages through is on live, because when I try to record anything, it doesn't come through. So what should have happened before didn't for somebody, and it's now transpiring now, and there's a whole lot to tell somebody about. For somebody that I don't feel like this feels so very random, you've never been with, but you are going to learn a lot. And if you've been sitting and waiting for something to change or shift, for you since that time, and you've been like, "What up? What gives, spirit?" You got to find out all that was happening behind the scenes. And I hate to say it, but a lot that hasn't transpired in your life is because this person didn't enter in because of what they were going through. Because something's still there's an energy presence. And again, I'm not saying that there's like some kind of like demonic energy that doesn't want these two divine beings to come together. Eh, but the fact that I am running into these difficulties is telling me this is what these two individuals they were running into these difficulties. Something kept stopping, and I was trying to communicate these. That's what these readings are, is communicating something to you. It's a message, and something kept coming in between the message. And so this person probably wanted to reach out a long time ago. That's where they've been given the opportunity to see what's up with you. There's something more that I don't have here to give to you that you will find out when you connect with this individual. And I think you're going to be shooketh in a way. Like, had you heard about it through the grapevine, you've been like, "Oh, I'm just going to move on." But in the moment, you are just, and what came out is the Queen of Cups. You are a match. I see you all sharing the same emotion for one another. Like, your two cups were meant to come together. The Hierophant. It's like something more than the two of you. Page of Wands again. I just heard the song "Come On Baby, Light My Fire." It's it lights a fire. It lights something within the two of you. This wand, this adventure, this whatever, this coming together, it cracks the golden egg. Alrighty then. Anything else you want to share? Because I mean, if you're not going to give us the little details, I don't know why they're saying it like this. Somebody will watch this, and their spirit wants me to tell them you have permission. Like, I feel that's for the Emperor. You have permission. Go ahead. I think that they're trying to say it's the green light. Go ahead. Message your Queen of Wands or whatever the fuck you're gonna do. Call. There's a voice involved. You have the sun. Everything's a go. I'm sorry. I didn't even pay attention. This is the green light card. This is the yes. So if somebody's asking, should I do it now? Yes. Do it now. Do it now. Oh. Ah. Okay. Do it now. Don't hesitate. Knight of Wands is the shitter get off the pot. He doesn't hem and haw. He just quick, swift moves. Do it now. Because this shit needs to end. It's time to completely close out. Ten of Swords. Close out. There's this distinct separation from the past. It's time to close that out. New path. It's time to do it. Now's the time. Um, Ten of Pentacles and the Alien. The Alien card talks about coming home to the self and stepping outside of the parameters of the stories that we tell ourselves that box us in. And so there's this energy of coming home with it mixed with the Ten of Pentacles. And I just want to say to the masculine, you can have the family that you've always dreamt of. But the time is now. Anything else? What time are we going to 59? Anything else? I just keep hearing do it now. Do it now. I hear you are right. I think this is for the masculine. The emperor, whatever, you are right. It's only a complex decision if you make it one. Stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. Do it now. You won't regret it. Something, ooh, there's a truth for the masculine too. I'm over here like he's got some shit to say or divulge or share. But there's going to be some nice little tidbitty truths that he's going to get from the Queen of Wands. High Priestess energy. Queen of Cups. She's everything. Okay. You're going to wish you had done this sooner. You know those conversations sometimes, like you're trying to really listen through the door and you can tell it's juicy and good, but you can't get all the little parts. That's what this feels like. I wanna, I want to, I want more. I know I'm not gonna get it. So I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful day. I hope this finds whoever it's meant for. The masculine needs to get on the ball. Uh, so much love to everybody, and I'll see you at the next read.